The first to go missing was Cheyenne Two Feathers. It was 2017, in the high foothills of Larkspur County, Montana, where the cold bit hard and the silence could stretch for miles. Cheyenne was just 14, a freshman at the high school on the edge of the Crow Reservation. Her family reported her missing the next day when she didn't come home from school. The sheriff's department issued a half-hearted statement. "She's probably a runaway," they said. "Troubled home life." But Cheyenne's mother, June, knew better. Her daughter had a 4.0 GPA, was learning beadwork from her grandmother, and never missed Sunday dinner. Something was wrong. No one listened. Over the next 8 years, 5 more girls disappeared. All Indigenous. All between 13 and 17. And all, at some point, passed through a now-defunct program called Evergreen Outreach, a faith-based rehabilitation retreat that operated out of a converted summer camp on the edge of the forest. On paper, it offered wilderness therapy and moral realignment for wayward youth. But families said the girls came back different, withdrawn, afraid. Then they disappeared. Daisy Rainwater was 15 when she disappeared in the fall of 2024. Her family, from the Northern Cheyenne tribe, immediately filed a missing persons report. But when Sheriff Elwood Carson shrugged it off, maybe she ran off with a boyfriend, they knew they had to go around him. That's when Loretta Whitecloud, a fierce tribal activist with a reputation for rattling cages, stepped in. She'd lost her niece, Sierra, for years earlier. The case was cold. No leads. No press. Just another troubled teen on the books. Loretta reached out to Carmen Vega, a Brooklyn-born freelance journalist known for reporting on systemic injustice and racial bias in missing persons cases. Carmen had written a viral expose on the forgotten women of Juarez and had recently shifted her focus to North American cases of missing Indigenous women. They met in the community center of Ash Bluff, a speck of a town near the edge of the county. The locals were suspicious. Many still held tight to their guns, Bibles, and a stubborn distrust of outsiders. But Loretta vouched for Carmen. "She's not here for a story," Loretta told them. "She's here for the truth." What Carmen and Loretta uncovered was a chilling pattern. Each of the missing girls had been enrolled in Evergreen Outreach within 6 months of their disappearance. The program claimed to reform at-risk Indigenous youth, girls who'd skipped school, disrespected authority, or displayed sexual deviance, a term broadly applied to anyone not conforming to strict evangelical norms. In reality, the program acted as a funnel, isolating girls deep in the woods, breaking them down psychologically, and, most disturbing, transferring some to undisclosed satellite retreats for further treatment. The retreats didn't appear on any public registry. There were no inspection reports, no paper trails. Evergreen, though technically a private entity, had been receiving state juvenile diversion funds. Carmen found out why. The county coroner, Dr. Simon Rourke, was listed on the original articles of incorporation for Evergreen Outreach. He'd personally pushed for local court referrals, effectively sending Indigenous teens to a program he had a financial stake in. And he'd been the one to sign off on the early missing person files as likely runaways. After months of investigating, Loretta received a tip from a former Evergreen staffer, a man named David Ellis who'd turned whistleblower. He met them in a motel off Route 82, sweating through his flannel shirt, reeking of fear. "There's more than one site," he whispered. 3, maybe 4. One of them's underground, built into the hills near Gunner's Hollow. They kept the worst kids there. Kids they said the state didn't want anymore. He showed them a map, hand-drawn and incomplete, but enough to get started. They hiked into the woods in early spring. Snow still clung to the higher elevations. What they found, half buried beneath the roots of old pines, was a rusted steel hatch. It took 3 hours to pry it open. The smell hit first. Inside was a series of interconnected bunkers, old military storage units retrofitted into living spaces with crude beds, chains bolted to the floor, and torn religious pamphlets scattered like dead leaves. The graffiti on the walls was in desperate, shaky handwriting. "Help US." They watched from the trees. "I dream of fire." Then they found the pit. A shallow burial site. 6 bodies. All young. All female. most unrecognizable. Only one had dental records: Sierra Whitecloud, Loretta's niece. The revelations triggered national outrage. Carmen's article, titled "Buried Silence: The Missing Girls of Larkspur County," went viral within 48 hours. Protests erupted at the county courthouse, demanding the arrest of Sheriff Carson and Dr. Rourke. But justice came slow. Local prosecutors balked. Evidence had been tainted. Search warrants invalid. The state attorney general declined to pursue federal charges, citing lack of jurisdiction. It took a federal grand jury and the intervention of the FBI to break the case open. Phone records and financial ledgers traced payments from Evergreen to local deputies, judges, and even a state senator who'd helped secure grants. Sheriff Carson was arrested on charges of obstruction of justice, witness intimidation, and conspiracy to commit human trafficking. Dr. Rourke was found dead in his home, an apparent suicide, before he could be indicted. Carmen keeps a burner phone for tips. She still gets calls, mostly from mothers, grandmothers, sisters. "I know you don't know me," they say, "but my daughter's gone, and no one's listening." Carmen always picks up, because she knows the forest may be quiet now, but the missing never rest easy.